Very good morning to you all. Uh, Welcome to the orientation session on Java Phase 2. So I hope all of you have completed till data structures and are looking forward to work on this multi-threaded chat server application. Good morning to Goodlavalleru Engineering College faculty members and members at Enhance CDU who are there. So we'll start with our presentation. This will be a very short presentation, say 30 to 45 minutes, wherein we'll give you an overview of what you'll be going to do in this 8 to 10 days of project. So to begin with, you'll actually, till now you've actually worked on some basic concepts in Java. So now in this, during the this project, you'll actually work on some advanced topics like sockets, JDBC, that is how to connect to a database. We also work on concurrent programming, that is how to work with threads, and also do some multi-threading, like different operations at the same time, and collections. So in your data structures, you have seen some basic data structures, right? So you worked with hash tables, trees, and all. So you'll actually use those collections over here in this project, and then you'll actually build a basic a good UI to your chat server application. So to build a good UI, you'll need to work with swings. So you'll be working with all these concepts and also some advanced features. So moving on. So this is a schedule. So this is kind of a very you can say very competitive schedule, like very if you're really good, you are really motivated and all, you can actually complete the whole project in 7 days. But we usually we've seen that people take around between 8 to 10 days, like they'll actually pace themselves in a very I mean, like if you see in the time, we starting at 10 o'clock and going till 5:30, so you might actually work a little less, and you can then see how it goes actually. So you can actually, if you see over here, it's very jam packed, like you can actually work more number of days and complete it. So this is the schedule. So coming on with what you need to be doing each day in the socket programming. So the this project is actually uh, scheduled in such a way that we actually work on one concept the first day, and on the second day you'll actually implement it in the project. Okay, so if you see over here, you'll actually start with socket programming. That is how to make connections over the network. Because if you have worked on some client server applications, you can see that there's always a network connection going on. You're sitting on a client machine, and you actually send messages to a server, which again transmits it to one of your friend or your somebody on your chat list. Okay, so you'll actually need to work with sockets. So that on the first day you'll be introduced to socket programming, where you'll actually learn what TCP and UDP socket programming is. You'll also work on sending basic messages across the network, so from client to server and from server to client. So you'll actually learn how to configure your machines also, like how to set up on a server and all. And there are two modules in this topic. So the first module is basic introduction to socket programming, and the second module is wherein you'll actually build a small banking application. So this is like you send messages to the server and you get your account status and all. So that is for the day one. So day two, you'll actually apply whatever you learned on the day one to the project. So you will learn about user registration, adding friends, and console-based registration. If you see over here, we're actually not working on any UI part, because we've kept the UI part to the end, because what we want is for you to actually learn the concepts first, and then concentrate on the UI. Okay, so you'll actually be working on a console based uh, application only. So you'll actually be working on the command prompt only, or till day 8 or day 7, after which you'll actually work on the swings part. So second day you'll work on this user registration and adding friends. So coming to the third day, you'll actually work with how to create a database and what basic operations on the database. So if I hope some of you are already conversant with databases and all. I mean, like you might have worked on some databases. So over here we work with MySQL, MySQL, or otherwise. So we'll teach you how to work with basic operations like create, insert, delete, and all. You'll also know how to update your tables and all. So there's one small intro to databases as well. There's a small there's some resources. So if you're really new to databases also, you can actually pick it up quite easily. And in the second module you'll learn some advanced topics in database, like how to create joins and all. So join is nothing but merging data from two tables. How do you get data from two tables? So you'll actually learn some concepts over here. So maybe you'll also learn about normalization, and also how do we remove redundant data and all. So once you learn this, we'll then apply this into the project. So on day 4, we'll come up with different tables that are required for our project. Okay, so you'll actually need to brainstorm on this. So I hope all of you are aware that this is a team project. So we'll actually need to work in groups of 2 or more. So 2 or more means like 2 or 3. What we suggest is, if there are 4 members in your college, it's advised that you work in groups of 2 each. If there are 5, you work in groups of 2 and 3. Okay. Okay, coming back to the project. So on day 4, you'll actually work with different tables that are required for our project. So you'll actually need to brainstorm with your partner on and come up with a very good schema. So schema is nothing but what are the tables that are there, and what are the different fields, how do you store the data and all. And also you'll need to find some relations between these tables. So there are some resources for all of these, so you can actually go through these resources and come up with very good schemas. And we'll always be there for you, like on the forums and all. So anytime you have any doubts, you can post your questions on the forum and we'll be there to answer. Coming to day 5, so if you see, day 5 is pretty much simple and all, because what we are assuming is you have already worked on a lot of collections in your data structures. Okay, so you over here, what you'll do is actually you'll be introduced to different collection objects in Java. Actually, Java, the Java library has a lot of collection objects. So while you worked on building linked lists in your data structures course, you'll be surprised to know that there's already a linked list class in Java. So in the Java library. So all of this you'll actually use them again. Instead of actually creating from scratch, you'll actually use these collection objects in your project. So in the first half of day 5, you'll actually be introduced to different collection objects. And in the module 2, you'll actually build a small application. It's kind of a scenario. You can what we named it as enhanced CDU scenario. You can change it to your college scenario and do it. But the second half of day 5 is what is really important, because you need to identify the different collections that you need in your project. Over here again, you need to brainstorm with your friend, with your partner, and come up with the different collections that are required. So if you see over here, if you are actually implementing this project for your students, you can see that there's a lot of discussion going on between the students because they'll need to justify their I mean, like, why they need this particular collection and all. They'll need to there needs to be a justification for that. So you'll need to brainstorm on that and come up with a very good answer for that. Also, you'll need to apply the collection objects in our project. So let's say, give you a simple example. If you are working on a phone book application, you can think of different data structures that are there, right? You can either use a linked list, you can also use a hash table. I mean, like, you can also use a tree, right? So the data structure or the collection object is left to you, but you need to justify that. Why you're using this and all. Okay. So moving on. So on day 6, you'll be introduced to threads or concurrent programming. And why it's called concurrent programming is because you can run multiple threads at the same time. That is nothing but multi-threading. So a thread in simple terms is nothing but a process, or you can think of a thread as a kind of a program that is running. So you can run multiple programs at the same time. So once you are working on threads, you'll actually know like how it's actually working. So we have some very interesting tasks for you, which once you do, you'll be able to appreciate the value of threads and multi-threading and all. When you are let's say you are introducing this project to students, you can actually tell them about the importance of multi-threading. If you normally see the different job applications that are coming up, at more than 50% of the requirement in Java is people who have very good programming knowledge of multi-threading. Okay, so if your students are really good with multi-threading, they can easily land a job. So you can actually tell them that. So in addition to multi-threading, we'll also be teaching you about what thread synchronization is and how do you prioritize your threads. So all these concepts you'll learn. So once you are done with day 6, in day 7 you'll actually create a multi-threaded echo server. So you'll be sending messages to your to the server, right? And you need to send a message and receive the message and all. So all this will simulate a multi-threaded server. So this is what you'll be working on day 7. Coming to day 8, this is kind of very interesting because in day 8 you'll actually see how your project is coming to life. Till now you'll be working on only on the console part, that is the black and white screen that you normally work all the till now you worked on that only. So now is actually where you'll actually see the life of your application. That means you can actually put in colors, put in a UI, very good UI. You can have a application kind of thing. Maybe create something like Gtalk and all. So here we'll be introducing you to some very basic Swing components. There are different managers or that are there, which you will learn in this layout managers. So you can actually again over here see what layout manager is required for your project. So you might use 2 or 3 different layout managers. And then there's some small tasks that you'll need to do. So all these tasks now get very interesting because you're actually using your mouse and all to track. So all these event listeners, let's say you click on a button, what happens? You press a key, what happens? You scroll down the mouse, what happens? So all this are nothing but event listeners. So if you normally work, some web applications that you've seen, you click on some point in the web page, you get something. So all these are event listeners. So that you will be introduced to all these over here. And some basic applications that you'll work on, like even or odd application, student registration form. So all these. Okay. So how do you apply this to the project? So you'll actually need to design something like this. So let's say we call this EDU chat. nothing short for enhanced CDU. You can actually sign up for chat or sign into chat. So sign up is nothing but a new registration form. All these are just for giving you an idea. You're very much free to do whatever you want. We can actually change the look and feel of all these. But these are the basic functionalities that need to be there. So once you create your application runs, you need to have these two buttons. You'll either need to sign up or you'll need to sign in. And then our registration form is pretty much simple. You enter your username, you enter a password, you again confirm the password, and you have a password hint, and you create account. You can also check for your username and whether that particular username exists or not. Okay. Once you are done with this, you can actually log in or you can sign in. Okay. So this is how you sign in. You enter your username and password and you sign in. If you enter forgot password, you will be prompted this hint, wherein if you enter the hint, your password will be given to you. So there are also some possible errors that need to be handled. So over here, username already exists. All these are possible errors. Okay. So passwords need, both these passwords need to be the same. You can't enter one password and once you're confirming the password, you can't enter another password. It's all common sense stuff. So I'm just skipping this slide. And this is one more thing, offline and online. So let's say you're working with this chat application and you want to see all friends who are online and offline. So red is like offline and yellow is like online. So you can actually add more friends, you can log out and all these are basic functionalities that need to be implemented in the project. Okay. If you have any doubts, you're free to ask. You can either type in the chat window or you can hand raise. We'll clear your doubts. And anyway, this video is being recorded and it will be put up on the content site, so you can actually view it over there. We also put it up on our portal, so you can view it again. So this is how chatting needs to be done. So let's say I have two friends over here, Suresh and Sai, and I'm chatting with Sai over here, and there's another user, King, who is King is also chatting. So like that. So this is how it happens. So King is chatting with Sai, Sai is chatting with King. So this is how two windows need to be shown. And these two windows are from two separate machines and not from the same machine. So that it's nothing but a basic chat application that something like Gtalk. You don't chat on the same machine, do you? So that's how it happens. So how do you add a friend? So this is how you add a friend. So you you'll need to select the list of people that are there. And once you select, it will get added to your friends list. So if you see over here, Sai is adding a friend, Vishnu, and Vishnu gets a message saying Sai wants to add you. So you can either accept or deny the request. So once Vishnu selects this, Vishnu's friend is Sai. So that is shown over here. Okay. So this is how you need to put up this functionality. You just don't add friends as is. You need to send a request to that friend, and once that friend says accept, then only that friend will be added over here. So likewise, you can, once Vishnu accepts this, Sai will get Vishnu in this friend list. Okay. So all the content that is required for the Java 2 project is available over here. So it's nothing but enhancedcdu.triplight.ac.in/cit_phase1. It's not space, it's _phase1. You can log in, you can access this content and all the phase 2 content is available over here. So once you are done with the tasks and all, you need to upload them on the portal. I hope all of you are aware of the portal. It's nothing but enhancedcu.triplit.ac.in/portal, portal. So all of you have access to that. So you can, once you are done with your task, you can upload it over there. And please use the forums. If you have any doubts, please post them on the forum. We'll be there to answer your doubts. So I hope all this was understood, clear and all. And now if you have any doubts, please ask. We are open for questions now.